Thanksgiving is one of the most cherished holidays in the United States, a day filled with family gatherings, warm meals, and reflections of gratitude. But behind the celebrations lies a long and complex story that began over 4 centuries ago. Today, let's take a journey back in time to understand the true history of Thanksgiving, its origins, its evolution, and the deeper meaning it holds. Welcome to my channel Fernway Touristas. Our story begins in the year 1620. A group of English settlers, known as the Pilgrims, left Europe in search of religious freedom and a place to build a new life. They boarded a small wooden ship called the Mayflower, carrying 102 passengers across the Atlantic Ocean. The voyage was long and dangerous, lasting 66 days, with storms, cramped conditions, and constant uncertainty. But finally, in November 1620, the Pilgrims sighted land, the coast of present-day Massachusetts. Little did they know, their arrival would mark the beginning of one of the most significant chapters in American history. When the Pilgrims reached the New World, winter had already begun. They built shelters as quickly as they could, but the harsh cold, lack of food, and unfamiliar environment proved deadly. In just a few months, nearly half of the Pilgrims died from disease, hunger, and exposure. For the survivors, hope seemed distant. But everything changed with the arrival of new friends. The land the Pilgrims settled on belonged to the Wampanoag, a Native American tribe who had lived there for thousands of years. One day, the Pilgrims met a man who would change their fate. Tisquantum, also known as Squanto, a member of the Patuxet tribe, Squanto spoke English and understood European customs because of his past experiences. Squanto taught the Pilgrims how to plant corn in the rocky soil, how to hunt and fish, how to identify edible plants, and how to survive the changing seasons. The Wampanoag tribe and its leader, Massasoit, formed a peaceful relationship with the Pilgrims. Despite differences in language and culture, both communities worked together. Their cooperation made survival possible. In the autumn of 1621, after months of hard work and guidance from the Wampanoag, the Pilgrims harvested their first successful crop of corn. To celebrate this moment of hope, Governor William Bradford declared a feast of Thanksgiving. The Pilgrims invited the Wampanoag to join them. For 3 days, both groups shared wild turkey, venison, corn, berries, squash, and freshly harvested vegetables. There was no formal prayer or ceremony, just gratitude, community, and relief after months of hardship. Although this gathering wasn't called Thanksgiving at the time, it became the inspiration for the modern holiday. For the next 2 centuries, different states celebrated their own versions of Thanksgiving on different days. But one woman changed everything: Sarah Josepha Hale, an author and magazine editor. For nearly 20 years, she wrote letters to presidents, encouraging them to create a national Thanksgiving holiday. Finally, in 1863, during the Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln proclaimed Thanksgiving a national day of gratitude. He believed that even in the midst of conflict, Americans needed a moment to pause and appreciate the blessings they still had. He declared the last Thursday of November as Thanksgiving. Later, in 1941, President Franklin D. Roosevelt officially made it the 4th Thursday of November, which is still celebrated today. While Thanksgiving celebrates unity and gratitude, it is also important to acknowledge the difficult history that followed. The arrival of European settlers eventually led to conflict, loss of land, and suffering for many Native American tribes. For some Native communities, Thanksgiving represents both remembrance and mourning. Recognizing this history allows us to honor the full truth, not just the joyful parts, but also the painful chapters that shaped the nation. While Thanksgiving celebrates unity and gratitude, it is also important to acknowledge the difficult history that followed. The arrival of European settlers eventually led to conflict, loss of land, and suffering for many Native American tribes. For some Native communities, Thanksgiving represents both remembrance and mourning. Recognizing this history allows us to honor the full truth, not just the joyful parts, but also the painful chapters that shaped the nation. As we reflect on the history of Thanksgiving, we honor its lessons, the importance of helping one another, appreciating what we have, and remembering the stories that shaped our world. Thanksgiving is not just a holiday. It is a reminder to pause, give thanks, and cherish the people we hold close. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more meaningful stories and inspiring content. From my heart to yours, happy Thanksgiving. May your life be filled with warmth, love, and endless gratitude.